Hello everybody, welcome back to another Roblox Lua scripting video. So here's my 2021 updated version of the Pokecedgo ordering system, which is my SizzleBurger series um, of their ordering slash cashier system. So here's the updated version, which is this one is it's far different from the ones that I've made in the past. Let me just show you a quick demonstration of what it should look like once you put it in your cafe or restaurant or anything really. So once you so if you're far away from the register, it'll show you are too far away to claim the register message. But once you're near it, it claims it and you can't claim other registers. So if you try to claim it, it won't claim. In my system that I just made, it shows it. It took me 2 to 3 hours to make, by the way, and this is the third time I've recorded this. So once you do that, it'll show this, the thing, um, and it'll, show the UI. Of course, you can hide it and show it so you can see what the person is saying, and you can move far away from it, and it'll automatically close. So yeah, that's basically how it works. Nothing much else to it, and yeah, so let's get straight to the my version of it. I tried to make it as close as or similarly as possible to the SizzleBurger one. So let me just show you my version. Alright, so yeah, so I just finished making it, but basically once you have the model, make sure you put all the GUIs in the starter GUI, the order UI handler and the service script service, the remote events into the replicated storage, and the table model registers and menu board. Make sure they're out of the model and just make sure the parent is workspace. And yeah, yeah. Other than that, it's pretty much set up properly. I suggest you test this in an actual game or place, not in Roblox Studio, because for me it didn't work. It might work for you, I'm not sure, but it will definitely work in the actual game where players are actually playing and stuff. But right. So, anyways, yeah. So here's my version. Here's my tablets. I have three preset or pre-made tablets made for you guys. So if you're far away from it, it'll show the too far. You have to be near the register to use it. Oh yeah, these things do not matter. By the way, they're just cosmetics. You can remove them whenever you want or change it to something else. They do not matter. They do not need to be there. The distance and how close you have to be to the tablet to claim it is configurable in one of the local scripts I'm gonna show you guys in a bit. If you're far away from it, it'll show too far. Too far. Right. Anyways, so once you're near it, you can claim the register, and it'll say make order. Of course, while you're at the register, you can't claim other registers. It'll say whoa there. You already are currently using register, and if you move far away from it, um, it'll automatically unclaim the register. I just put the box here as a reference and how close you need to be in order to claim it. This is the default, which is five studs, I think. So yeah, once you make the order, you can do that. Add my name in, of course. If your name doesn't exist, it won't work. By default, the limit is 4. I suggest you try to just make it 5 orders that can be ordered at once. Nothing higher than that. Anything above 7, it will not work. The limit, of course, is customizable in the UI. This UI specifically, you have to find one of my old videos in the SizzleBurger system. I think I gave an in like a depth explanation how this UI specifically works, the ordering UI here you seeing in the screen. But I will give a quick rundown summary later on how it works and how you can add certain things. So once you submit that, of course, once you go far away from it, it'll unclaim it. Basically, in a cafe or restaurant, you usually have a kitchen and the register area. So once your cashier makes a order, the chefs in the kitchen will see the order, and it'll state who the order belongs to or who to give the items to. So once they make all the items, they give the items to the player with the hand to GUI. That is hand to GUI, which is a whole completely different system, not connected to the ordering system or the cashier system, which is a good thing. So once they finish that, they can click done, saying that they delivered it to the person. And yeah, they can just do that. Of course, they can just, you know, repeatedly do the same thing. Let's say they make that, and it'll show up there. And yeah, and click done. There you go. So yeah, that's pretty much how it works. I think it's pretty much similar to the SizzleBurger cashier system. So yeah, let me show you how it works and how to add things. So basically, let me just let me just hide this screen real quick for you guys so you guys don't see it. There you go. All right. So how you add a new item? So basically, you go to the registers model, and here's the registers. So you control D, which duplicates it. You name it to register. Let's say this one 4. Do not make anything under this model the same name. So no child should be named the same in this. No children should be named the same in this under this model. So make sure you skip the same pattern that I set. Register 1, 2, 3, 4, which would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, etc., etc. Once you do make a new model here, you're going to go to the ordering UI and Control D, change the surface GUI name to the exact same name of the register model name, which is register 4. So this one would be named register 4 as well. Adorny, Control Alt left click, boom, and there you go. That's how you add a new cashier. That's pretty much it. That's literally it. Yeah, so once you do that, you can just delete it and you're set. So how does the cashier work? Really simple. Oh, and by the way, before I continue, each register has a taken value, which I'll explain in a bit, which is really important. But basically, don't touch anything if you don't know how to configure things. I'll tell you which things to configure. Basically, the register itself, it can change to be whatever you want. Just make sure you have the display part. Don't change the name too, by the way. Just make sure you have the actual screen where the oops, my bad. Make sure you have the actual screen. Just make sure you have this screen, whichever tablet or cashier model you're using. Make sure the main screen is named as display part, and you should be set. Anything else can be just changed or removed to whatever you want, so you can make it look like whatever you want. All right, so to the main thing. I did set this up to be group only, so make sure you put, when you test this, make sure you put your group, your cafe group or restaurant group, and the minimum rank. So like trainee or stuff, any rank higher than this would be able to use the cashier. But yeah, make sure when you test it, make sure you put your group or it will not work for you, because you have to be specifically in the group and higher or equal to the minimum rank in order to use the cashier. So make sure you change this to the group of your cafe or restaurant. Yeah, so the main things are basically in this video. The cashier system is under the register 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., etc. They're all the same thing, just renamed. So I'm just gonna explain briefly how this works. Don't let this scare you. It's really self-explanatory once I explain to you how it works. So basically, this thing is the register 1 would be this one right here. A text button would be this thing right here. Alright, so this is how it works. So local register group, which basically just locates the register model over here. Variables, player character, human root part, text button. Doesn't, you don't have to worry about that. You'll see why they exist in a bit. Max distance, this is the part where you can configure. The higher the value, the further away a player can use the cashier. The lower the value, the closer the player needs to be to use the cashier. 5 is the perfect value. It's the perfect distance. It's literally like almost right next to it. Anything lower, I'm pretty sure you have to be on top of the cashier or register to use it. So yeah, just leave it at 5. It's like the perfect distance. You don't have to worry about this. I'm just getting the variables of certain things. Basically, each register has a thing called status, which is, if it's true, that means the cashier is being used. If it's false, the cashier is not being used and it's open. Has register is the value that's specifically made for the player, him or herself, or the player itself. Basically, if it's on, that means the player is currently using a variable. If it's false, the player is currently not using a cashier. I don't know why it's a variable. If it's true, the player is currently using a cashier. If it's false, the player is not currently using a cashier. Right. Anyways, unclaimed text and claim text. So basically, this text is whatever you want it to be. When the cashier is unclaimed, it'll say this. If the cashier is claimed, it'll say this. So if you want it to say cashier claimed or cashier is taken, you just change this value. If you want it to say claim register or claim or cashier unclaimed or click to claim, you'll change this value, which is the unclaimed text. Right, the group ID minimum rank, basically, like I said about the group ID minimum rank, it'll just get these two values. So make sure you change that to your cafe or restaurant group or whatever, to the group ID inside that value. Okay, to the main script, basically this separates script. So what basically this means is if the player has a cashier under the service I, the player is working at a cashier, which is the hash register value and the register value. And the script.parent.text, which is the text button, says that or is equal to the claim text button, which means that the cashier is claimed, then show the menu or the ordering UI, which is the food and drinks and all the stuff where you put the player name and stuff. This the main part. If player is basically is in the group and their rank is higher than a set value inside that group, and by default here is 2. So let's say you're a trainee, group trainee is 2 and customers should be 1. So customers can't use the cashier, but anything above trainee would be able to use it. Or equal trainees and anything above trainees to be able to use it. Then I'll basically just check if the player is above 5 or the distance that you can set over here. If they're further than 5 studs, I think that's pretty sure it's studs, and they don't have a register, I'll send the too far thing, the too far UI, which says that you're too far to use the register. Come a little bit closer to claim it. This one is if they do have a register and they try to claim another register while being at a register, it'll show the existing register screen, which shows that you are already using a register. You can't claim another one. And this one basically says if a player is not at a register and they don't have a register under the service I, and the register they're trying to claim is not claimed by anybody, then it'll set the register value to true, the register status is true, has registered to true, and fire the event cashier claim. Basically, this the stuff needed in order to claim, quote unquote, claim a register or cashier, and basically fires it, calls it here, and it'll find the cashier that was claimed, and it'll change the taken value. So if the taken value is set to true in a register in this model, basically no one can claim the register. If it's set to false, that means the cashier is open and people can claim the register. That's basically how it works. Yeah, that's basically how it works, and yeah, that's pretty much it. This one, while loop again. This part here, it unclaims the register upon far distance. So if you're too far away from the register, if you're like 6 studs away or 7 studs away, or anything higher than 5 really, or anything higher than the number you put there, it'll automatically fire the unclaimed event, making the register, claimable again, or the cashier is open for use. This one automatically sets the text of the button upon claim unclaimed. Basically, a lot of if statements, but basically it checks if the cashier is claimed or not claimed, and it'll change the text to, claimed or unclaimed. This one checks if the register is claimed, which then shows to all players. So basically this one is specifically made for you rather than the other player. Basically, if a second player claims, let's say, register 3, that script is specifically made for you, the other player, or you. So player 2 claims the register 3. Player 1 would see that cashier or register saying that it's claimed, or so if they try to click in stuff, they can't use it. That's basically what this line means. And this thing is the player leave event. So I'm not sure. I think that's the right one. I don't know, is it player leave event? Hold on. Player leaves that player removing. Yeah, I think it's player removing. I think so. Yeah, anyways. They'll fire the cashier unclaimed event. Sorry, I'm a bit rusty. I just got back to Lua like 2 days ago. It'll fire the unclaimed event and it'll call it here. Change the taken value of the registers to false and fire back to here, and everything is called here. Basically, once it's fired back here, it'll find the register and change its status to true or false, which means it's claimed or unclaimed. So you don't have to worry anything about that. And just like that, that's basically the entire system itself. That's the entire ordering UI. Woo. Um, yeah. Let me just give a brief explanation on how the menu list works. So let me just find it. Yeah, here we go. Alright, so again, go check my other video for a more in-depth explanation how this works. Basically, you don't have to worry about the table num. You can remove that if you want to, but I'll just leave it there. Um, Maximum value is how much orders can be taken at once. Again, I suggest just doing 3, 4, or 5. Don't go higher than 7 or it will not work. Of course, in this script, you can make it higher than 7. Just make sure you know what this means. So basically, it just goes to 3, to 4, to 5, to 6, to 7, to 8, to 9, to, yeah. See, it ends at 7. That's the highest you can go. I think it's 8, right? Yeah, the highest you can go is 8. Then it will not work unless you set a new line which goes up to 9. Then you can go up to 10, etc., etc. Anyways, yeah. To make a new UI, a new category, to add a category at least. So if I just show this real quick, you can just Control D, change it to like whatever you want, and it'll just um, let's just do where is it? Rename to potato. Then you'll change the text button name to potato down here. So these should be the same name, and that's how you add things to certain categories. If you want to make a new category, be my guest. Just Control D, change it to like, let's say you want like a boba category. Boba, then you add a new button here for boba. Make sure the exact same name. Then you just change the list here to whatever drinks you want, to like taro, mango, strawberry, pineapple, banana, lemon, anything you want. That's how you add a new category. This thing just checks if the player exists or not. Make sure I'll check if you have a player here. This basically who you're giving the order to, or the order you're taking, the order you're taking. What? The name of the player you're taking the order for. Submit, of course. This whole thing again, check the other video, my old video, to know how this works. Summary explanation, makes a table, submits it to the Fiverr event, to the server, with all the orders that you selected for the player. Yeah. Other than that, and of course, the menu board has a script. Basically, calls it, which is the menu board is this thing over here that shows the orders. Basically, calls it, fires it back to the player. It just called here. Basically, duplicates the display thing over here, and makes a clone, and makes a new clone, and puts it inside the scrolling frame over here, and with all it shows like who the customer is, the name of the customer, what they want, etc., etc. And this thing is adorned to the board here, so that's where it displays it as over here. You can change this to whatever you want it to look like. The receipt thing that shows that actually shows, this is the part that you want to change. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, that's literally it. That's the whole system itself. Alright, so if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and comment if you want to see more videos like this. If you have any questions, make sure to comment below. I'll try to help you, or join my Discord server, even though it's, yeah, not related to Roblox at the moment. But I have a Fiverr page, by the way. I'll put in the description below if you want me to make you custom systems or custom scripts. or fix a script of yours, make sure you check out my Fiverr. But yeah, other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.